Hello friends, today we will learn about transplantation and tumor immunity. Here we will discuss about transplantation. Under transplantation we will study about types of transplants, the allograft reaction, histocompatibility agents, histocompatibility testing, prevention of graft rejection, graft versus host reaction, and under tumor immunity, we will study about tumor antigens, immune response in malignancy, immunosurveillance, immunotherapy of cancer. So, let's begin with transplantation introduction. It is a useful procedure for replacement of diseases, tissues or organs which are irreparable damaged. Transplantation is necessary for restoration of function. The tissue or organ transplanted is called transplant or graft. It has been known for a long time that transplants survive only when the tissue or organ is taken from the recipient himself, while grafts from another individual of the same species or from a different species would be rejected. The immune response induced by the reason for rejection of these exogenous grafts. Now let's know about the types of transplants. First is autograft. What do you mean by autograft? It is a tissue or organ taken from one site and engrafted to another site in the same individual. Now let's know about isograft. It is a graft taken from an individual and placed on another individual of the same genetic constitution. Example, grafts made between identical twins. Next is allograft. That is, it is graft transfer between two genetically non-identical members of the same species. Now let's know about xenograft. What do you mean by xenograft? These are grafts between members of different species and are called xenografts. Autografts and isografts are usually accepted and survive. Allografts and xenografts are usually rejected due to genetic and antigenic incompatibility. Now let's know about the allograft reaction. Rejection of the graft by the recipient is called the allograft reaction. The graft becomes vascularized during the first 2 or 3 days and appears to be accepted initially. By the 4th day, inflammation occurs and graft is invaded by lymphocytes and macrophages. Vascularity diminishes due to thrombosis and grafts undergoes ischemic necrosis. By the 10th day, graft slots off. These events resulting in the rejection of allograft is known as the first set response. Cell-mediated reaction is responsible for the reaction. Rejection is primarily by helper T lymphocytes, which activate cytotoxic T lymphocytes, macrophages and B lymphocytes. When second allograft from the same donor is applied on a sensitized recipient, it will be rejected in an accelerated fashion. Necrosis sets in early and graft slots off by the 6th day. This type of rejection is known as second set response. In this, antibodies play a dominant role along with cell-mediated immunity. Second set response is seen only if the second graft is from the same donor as the first. Application of the graft from another donor will evoke only the first set response. Now let's know about histocompatibility antigens. Histocompatibility antigens are specific for each individual and are under genetic control. When the recipient possesses all the antigens present in the graft, there will be no immune response and the transplantation is successful. Rejection of graft depends upon the antigenic differences between graft and recipient. The term major histocompatibility complex is a system of cell antigens that are responsible for allograft rejection or acceptance. The MHC in man is the human leukocyte antigen system. Now let's know about histocompatibility testing. Procedure used for matching donor and recipient for transplantation. Now we will discuss. First is ABO group. ABO grouping. How ABO is grouping occurs. How ABO group occurs. ABO compatibility is essential in all tissue transplantation because blood group antigens are strong histocompatibility antigens. Tissue typing, detection of MHC antigens. The HLA antigens of class 1 type on leukocytes are identified by means of antisera obtained from multiple women. From persons who have received multiple blood transfusions, from individuals who are repeatedly skin grafted, and from volunteers who have been immunized with cells from another individual with a different HLA haplotype. Monoclonal antibodies are now being used instead of these antisera. There are some methods. Let's know about these methods that are used. First is cytotoxic test. Lymphocytes are incubated with a panel of standard sera for HLA antigens in presence of complement. Cells carrying antigens corresponding to the HLA antiserum are killed. These can be detected by the addition of trypan blue, which stains only dead cells. Now let's know about mixed lymphocytes culture. In short, MLC. MHC class 2 antigens are identified by this method. Lymphocytes from both donor and recipient are cultured together. Donor cells are irradiated to prevent DNA synthesis and proliferation. A radioactive DNA precursor is also added to the mixture of donor and recipient lymphocytes. If the class 2 antigens are foreign, the recipient cells will be stimulated by dividing. As the stimulated recipient lymphocytes replicate their DNA, they incorporate the radioactive precursor. The amount of radioactivity incorporated can be easily measured. Now let's know about prevention of graft rejection. Now let's know about immunosuppression. Immunosuppression is produced in the recipient so that the transplanted tissue survives for a long period. Irradiation, corticosteroids and anti-lymphocytic serum are employed for immunosuppression in clinical transplantation. Fungal metabolites such as cyclosporin A and rapamycin are also used. They show specific T cell inhibitory activity. Now let's know about transplantation in anatomically protected sites. There are certain privileged sites where allografts are permitted to survive. These include cornea, cartilage and testicle grafting. Lack of vascularity prevents graft rejection in case of corneal transplants. The fetus can be one example of an intrauterine allograft as it contains antigens which are foreign to the mother. The reason why the fetus is exempt from rejection is not clear. Various explanations are there. Let's know about some examples. The placenta produces certain hormones which are locally immunosuppressive. Second point, the placenta produces mucoproteins which coat fetal cells, thus masking HLA antigens and prevent recognition. Next point is the mother produces specific blocking antibodies to fetal antigens and thus blocking immune recognition. Next point is the high concentration of alpha fetoprotein may protect the fetus against immunological damage from any maternal leukocytes entering fetal circulation. This is due to immunosuppressive properties of alpha fetoprotein. Now let's know about B1 glycoprotein of fetal origin has been shown to inhibit maternal cellular immunity. These factors depress the immune system of the mother and its response is localized in the uterus. Now let's know about graft versus host reaction. Graft rejection is generally due to the reaction of the host to the grafted tissue. Contrary to that, the graft may mount an immune response against the antigens of the host. This is known as the graft versus host reaction. GVH reaction occurs when it has some conditions that is present in it. First point, the graft contains immunocompetent T lymphocytes. MSC antigens of recipient activate transplanted immunocompetent T lymphocytes which lead to the production of lymphokines to TC cells, antibodies, etc. They attack the recipient cells leading to manifestations of GVH reaction. Second point, the recipient possesses HLA antigens that are absent in the graft. Third point, the recipient's immunological responsiveness is either destroyed or so impaired that he cannot reject a graft. The GVH reactions are predominantly cell-mediated. The manifestations of GVH reaction consist of splenomegaly, fever, rash, anemia, weight loss and sometimes death. Neonatally thymectomized animal receiving an allograft of spleen or blood lymphocytes do not grow normally but develop a fatal wasting syndrome known as Runting disease. Now let's know about tumor immunity. When a cell undergoes malignant transformation, it expresses new surface antigens and may also lose some normal antigens. The tumor-associated antigens are immunologically distinct from normal tissue antigens. The host recognizes the tumor-associated antigens as non-self. Therefore, tumor can be considered as an allograft and is expected to induce an immune response. Now, let's know about tumor antigens. First one is tumor antigens. They can be classified into two groups. First is tumor-specific antigens, in short TSAS, tumor-associated antigens, that is TAAS. Now, first of all, we will discuss about tumor-specific antigens, in short TSAS. Tumor-specific antigens are present on the membrane of cancer cells and not on the normal cells. They induce an immune response when the tumor is transplanted in the syngeneic animals. Such tumor-specific antigens reject tumor transplants in immunized host. These are termed in immunized host. These are termed as tumor-specific transplantation antigens, TSTA, or tumor-associated transplantation antigens, in short TATA. In chemically induced tumors, these antigens are tumor-specific. Different tumors possess different antigens even if they are induced by the same carcinogen. In contrast, the TSAs of virus-induced tumors are virus-specific. All tumors produced by one virus will possess the same antigens, even if the tumors are in different animal strains or species. Now, let's know about second antigen, that is tumor-associated antigen, TAAS. These are present on tumor cells and also on some normal cells. These include tumor-associated carbohydrate antigens, in short TACAs. They represent abnormal forms of glycoproteins and glycolipids such as mucin-associated antigen detected in pancreatic and breast cancer. Next is oncofetal antigens. These are fetal antigens which are present in embryonic and malignant cells but not in normal adult cells. The best known example are alpha fetoprotein in hepatomas and carcinoembryonic antigen in colonic cancers. Now let's know about differential antigens. CD10, an antigen expressed in early B lymphocytes, is present in B cell leukemias. Similarly, prostate specific antigens, in short PSA, has been used as a diagnostic indicator in prostatic cancer. Now let's know about immune response in malignancy. Both cell mediated and humoral responses can be demonstrated in malignancy. The sensitized T cells attack the foreign tumor cells and tend to limit its growth. Of all the T cell subsets, delayed type hypersensitivity T cells play a significant role in tumor killing by means of lymphokines that they release. The natural killer cells, in short NK cells, can also kill the tumor cells in absence of antibody. In addition to direct lysis of tumor cells, NK cells also participate in antibody-dependent cytotoxicity. Thus, NK cells may provide the first line of defense against many tumors. Humoral responses may also participate in tumor cell killing by activation of complement and induction of ADCC by NK cells. Now, let's know about immunosurveillance. It is believed that malignant cells arise by mutation of somatic cells that occur frequently. It is postulated that the immune system keeps a constant vigilance on these malignant mutation of somatic cells and destroy them on the spot. Inefficiency of the immunosurveillance, either as a result of aging or in congenital or iatrogenic immunodeficiencies, leads to an increased incidence of cancer. The development of tumors represents an escape from this surveillance. The mechanism of such escape are not clear, but various possibilities have been suggested. These are modulation of surface antigens, certain. Now let's know about modulation of surface antigens. Certain tumor cells may cede or stop expressing the surface antigens, thus making the tumor cells immunologically invisible. Masking tumor antigens. Let's know about masking tumor antigens. Some cancers produce a mucoprotein called sialomucin. It binds to the surface of the tumor cells. Since sialomucin is a normal component, the tumor cells are not recognized as foreign by the immune system. Now let's know about production of blocking antibodies. Certain tumor cells invoke immune system to produce blocking antibodies which cannot fix and activate complement, resulting in prevention of tumor cell lysis. Now let's know about fast rate of proliferation of malignant cells. Due to the fast rate of proliferation of malignant cells, tumor cells may be able to sneak through before the development of an effective immune response, and once they reach a certain mass, the tumor load may be too great for the host immune system to control. Suppression of cell-mediated immunity. Now we will discuss. Some tumors may form cytokines like transforming growth factors, beta in short TGF beta, which suppresses CMI. Now let's know about immunotherapy of cancer. Immunotherapy of cancer is of two types. First is non-specific active immunotherapy, another is specific active immunotherapy. So let's begin with non-specific active immunotherapy. This activates the immune system in a generalized manner, which destroys the tumor cells, and BCG vaccine, which injected directly into certain tumors, may lead to tumor regression. Anti-tumor effect of BCG is believed to be due to activation of macrophages and NK cells. BCG has been reported to be useful in malignant melanomas, bladder cancer, lung cancer, and certain leukemias. Corynebacterium parvum has been reported to be beneficial in various types of lung cancers and metastatic breast cancer. Dinitrochlorobenzene has been tried in squamous and basal cell carcinoma of the skin. Levamisole, originally introduced as an antihelminthic, has been tried for stimulating cell-mediated immunity and macrophage functions. Other non-specific immune modulators include thymic hormones to restore T cell function, interferons to stimulate NK cells cell function, and IL interleukin 2 to stimulate killing of cancers by TC cells, NK cells, and macrophages. Now let's know about specific immunotherapy. This has been attempted by vaccination with tumor antigens, treatment with immune RNA and transfer factor. Monoclonal antibody to tumor antigens may be administered either alone or tagged with cytotoxic drugs, will bind to and specifically destroy only cancer cells, lymphokine activated killer cells, insert LAK, and obtained by treatment of natural killer cells, insert NK cells, with interleukin 2. Have been tried in the treatment of certain malignancies such as renal carcinoma. Finally finished. Any questions regarding this, you can ask me in the comment box, and subscribe my channel to know more updates. Thank you. Jai Jagannath.